comes into play. So is it possible to have a hard stop to some of these things? It's been done before. Is that model applicable in Kenya, where we say, okay, everybody, stop, let's regroup on some of these things?
Yeah, that model is called zero-based budgeting.
Okay.
Which is at the end of the year, when you're starting your budget process, you're asking yourself, what are all these things? Let's not budget for them based on last year's budget. Let's budget for them from zero. Yeah. So is there a budget for the elderly and whatever? How many are there? Like IMF is asking, for example, who are these orphans who are being given this money? Do we have a new list? Do we know how many are still alive? How many are dead? How many are started businesses? They've how many successful? Have been successful, moved out of that whatever. So zero-based budgeting we've been talking about it for so long. Even when I was in planning, we were saying we are doing zero-based budgeting, but the budget goes up every year. Yeah. So if an MDA was getting 4 billion this year, their target is to get 4.5 billion next year. Yeah. It's not to account for the 4 billion that they received this year, and seeing that the bamboo project we started in the Mau did not work, so we will not do it again finance it again. But they're saying we got 100 million for the bamboo. Now we need 150 million for the bamboo farming in whatever. So the government has actually to push for the zero-based budget.
Is a moratorium possible on development projects?
It is, but again, as we are saying, there is no development that is happening, and those projects are not there.
It won't help. It's not the problem.
It's not the problem, because actually we are borrowing to pay for recurrent, which actually is against the PFM Act. Yes. Yeah, because PFM, as she said, is supposed to only borrow for development spending, and if it's at fixed short-term deficit on recurrent. But now we are borrowing long-term for actually recurrent expenditure. So I think there's serious need for discipline, both fiscal discipline as well as the budget and prioritization discipline. And without that, then we are in for a very Kenya, we are not defaulting yet, but even the journey to default is very painful.
We also note that with all the good advice you've given us today, you lost your job.
Yes.
So the problem kind of starts there. That people who speak truth
don't like it when you say no. Don't like it when you have a different opinion, or when you have an opinion, and when you stick to what you believe in. And unfortunately, for some of us, we won't change.
I understand you also advise boards.
Yes.
And boards have that tendency of not speaking up.
They don't speak up. Yeah. They're afraid that I once was called and I was told, you do this, otherwise we'll disband your board. And I said, unfortunately, even if you disband the board, the next board that will come will still have a problem.